Hello, Year 5 and Year 6. Welcome to your Thursday Reading English Lesson Live with me, Mr. Phillips. Hope you're doing all right. It's our second session in this kind of new format where I'm in this little box and everything you need is just over there. This is our last session of the week because remember there's no session on a Friday. So this is our last reading session and then we'll be back on Monday with our next reading session. So remember everything is going to be on the screen here if you need it. The text is in the description below if you want your own copy, so that's completely up to you. Just a quick reminder, remember you should be pausing and having a little go before I tell you my answers, either for the predict or the clarify or the questions or anything like that, okay? If you send me your work and it's exactly what I said word for word, I'll guess that you're probably just copying what I said. So make sure you have a little go first before you watch me, and then at least you've had a try, okay? If you get it wrong, doesn't matter, not a problem. At least you're engaging with it, okay? So our text today is this one. Now, it's strange because the author's name is 10 times bigger than the actual name of the book. The book is called Cloudburst, and it's by Wilbur Smith with Chris Wackling. Chris Wackling. I don't know why Wilbur Smith's name is massive compared to the other person's. Maybe he did more of the writing. Who knows? But it's called Cloudburst, okay? And it's an adventure book that's part of, I think it's a two-parter at the moment. I think there's one other part of the series coming. So, first thing we need to do is we need to predict using I predict that, okay? Now, all we've got to go off at the moment is the name Cloudburst, okay? And I'm going to tell you it's an adventure book. And the logo for the adventure book is like a travelling stamp with a plane behind it, okay? Cloudburst. Those are all the hints I'm giving you, okay? So can you have a little go on your piece of paper under a little subheading of predict? Right, I predict that, and then have a go at tell me what you think this book might be about. Don't say, oh, I predict that it's about clouds bursting, because that's just the name of the book, okay? You need to tell me what you think it's going to be about. Pause the video there and have a little go. Don't just copy mine because I'll know if it's my prediction because it'll be word for word what I've thought, okay? Just having a little guess. Write down for me what you think this book is going to be about. Off you go. Okay, so hopefully you've done that. If you've not paused the video, make sure you have. I'm going to work through my prediction now. Right, so Cloudburst, and I know it's a travelling stamp with a plane behind it. So I'm thinking about clouds bursting. I'm thinking about, maybe the plane coming through and splitting it apart. So maybe potentially it's about someone who is in aviation, which is when you're flying planes, and maybe it's a story about someone who's trying to maybe set a world record about having the fastest plane or traveling in the fastest plane on Earth or something like that. That's what I'm getting the idea of, bursting through the clouds in the fastest plane known to man. So I predict that this will be a story about someone trying to break a world record. Oh, move myself up a little bit there. Oh, nightmare. There we go. World record for the fastest plane speed ever. Perhaps it's maybe an adventurer. Maybe it's an adventurer. So someone who kind of goes up like an Indiana Jones kind of style adventurer who is trying, or like an Evel Knievel kind of stuntman who's trying to break the world record for the fastest plane journey. That's what I think. That's what I predict it might be. Yours is probably very different, and that's absolutely fine, okay? Right, now we've predicted, it's time to read. So I've managed to make it a lot smoother now with getting the text up, because I'm learning. So we're just going to read chapter 1. That's all in the extract, actually, but we're just going to read chapter 1. Here we go. I was asleep when the airliner hit turbulence. It must have dropped 100 meters in half a second. The swooping uprush launched my stomach into my chest, and my head grazed the ceiling before my bum slammed back into the seat. I opened my eyes as an electronic warning bell started pinging above me. The fasten seatbelts light came on. Bit late for that, I said to Amelie beside me. I never unbuckle mine, she explained, showing me the snug clasp before returning to whatever she was doing on her phone. Reprogramming it, probably. Of course you don't, I said, just as the plane bounced hard again. Mum craned round from the seat in front. You okay, Jack? Amelie? Just fine. Why wouldn't we be? We said, over the top of one another. The co-pilot's voice oozed out of the speaker, full of reassurance. Ladies and gentlemen, we seem to have run into some unexpected weather. We'll do our best to skirt it, but in the meantime, for your comfort and safety, we ask you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened. Beyond Amelie was the porthole window. I leaned across her to look out of it. The endless blue sky was dotted with occasional clouds, but it didn't look particularly stormy. I could make out the lush green rainforest below us without difficulty. Seems like a nice day to me, I said. The Democratic Republic of Congo averages more thunderstorms per year than anywhere else in the world on Earth, Amelie replied. Good to know. Still, not today, eh? As if to prove me wrong, at that moment the plane hit another airborne speed bump, hurling me sideways in my seat. I burst out laughing. Up until this point, the trip from London to Kinshasa, we'll go for Kinshasa, via Brussels, had been long and boring. This was fun. Mum, however, is a nervous passenger at the best of times. Through the seat gap ahead, I glimpsed her neck, rigid with fear. More loudly than she meant to, she said, Will the plane cope, Nicholas? To Dad, who was sat in the seat next to hers. Of course, he said, stroking her hand on the armrest. Unfortunately, Amelie heard what Mum said too. Amelie always means well, more or less, but has a knack of saying the wrong thing. Now she leaned forward and said, Mrs. Courtney, the wings on an Airbus A330 are tested to more than 5.2 metres of displacement. It would take an extraordinarily abrupt pressure differential to rip them off. Mum withdrew her hand from under Dad's, her knuckles white. Where did you get this stuff? I asked Amelie. What stuff? She replied, genuinely confused. Amelie's mother met mine on the maternity ward 14 years ago. We've known each other since we were babies. How her mind works, though, I'll never understand. It's not short of processing power, I admit, but she uses that power for the strangest things. Amelie means we're perfectly safe, Mum, I said, as another wedge of turbulence lifted me, grinning from my seat. The wind's just giving us a helping hand. We'll be in Kinshasa in no time. I'm going to read this page as well. Just the first page of chapter 2. I was wrong about that. The jagged air got worse. Someone a few rows back threw up, and I mean up, and somebody near the front lost it completely and began wailing. A few minutes later, although I still couldn't see anything other than blue sky out of the window, the co-pilot's super calm voice informed us that the weather had closed in on Kinshasa. For safety's sake, we were being diverted to Njili Airport. Not sure. To somewhere else beginning with R, or it might have been D. Either way, Amelia immediately informed us that it was 500 kilometres away. The news turned Mum's fear to frustration. She forgot her concern that our wings might fall off and set to worrying that we would miss the first of the meetings she'd scheduled in the lead up to the environmental summit she and Dad had flown all this way to attend. I tried to placate her. It's only a few hours' drive, Mum. On a tarmac motorway, yes, Amelie pointed out, but that distance can take days on dirt road, particularly in the wet season, which is now, she added helpfully. Fantastic. So another book full of countries that I can't pronounce. Joy. So that's our book for today, Cloudbursting. I'll tell you what, let's just get back to the top again, ready to answer the questions. Okay, so let's do our clarifying. Here are 4 words today that I need you to clarify. We've got turbulence, snug, knack, and diverted. Okay, so what you need to be doing is when I give you the word, you need to pause the video and write down what you think it means. Don't just wait for me to tell you. You need to write down what you think these pieces of vocabulary mean. If you get the wrong answer, it doesn't matter. Just write the correct one next to it. It just means you're having a go and you're thinking about it. Okay, so first of all is turbulence. It said the plane had hit a lot of turbulence, and this whole chapter is all about the turbulence around the plane. Okay, so what do you think turbulence means? Pause the video there and then write your answer next to the word. Okay, so you should now have a definition for turbulence, or what you think a definition for turbulence is. If you don't have it, pause the video and make sure you've written it. Okay, next one is snug. The word snug. What do you think snug means? It said that the seatbelt was clasped snug to Amelie. So what do you think snug might mean? Pause the video again. Write down your definition of snug. Okay, so 2 definitions now. The next one is knack. So we said she had a knack of saying the wrong thing. What do you think knack might mean? Pause the video again and then have a go at writing down your definition of knack. If you need to go back to the text to have a little look at it in context, then absolutely you can. And then finally, we have the word diverted. Okay, it said that they were being diverted for their original location to somewhere else 500 kilometers away. What does diverted mean? Pause the video one last time here and write down your definition. Okay, so now you should have 4 definitions. If you've not, make sure you've got them down. Okay, it doesn't matter if you get them wrong now. And if my definition is different to yours, or if yours was wrong, then make sure you write the correct one as well. So turbulence. So there was a lot of turbulence around the plane. Okay, and turbulence is the rough air that you have to travel through while you're flying. So obviously there's wind and there's air pressure and things like that. And if there's lots of rough air and kind of like air that makes the plane bounce up and down and knocks it from side to side, then that's called turbulence. So it's rough air that can impact a plane. Now don't worry if you've not got the exact wording that I have. If you think about turbulent as well, if it's a turbulent time, it's a rough and bumpy time, okay? So it kind of comes from that word, turbulent, turbulence. So rough air, or it's just roughness really, it doesn't have to necessarily be air, because you could describe, your experiences full of turbulence. You don't necessarily have to be flying in the air for that. Next one was snug, where it says it was fastened snug to her, or you could say it was fastened snugly to her. So snug is kind of tight, comfy, and cozy. Cozy with a Y? Cozy with a Y. I'm not sure cozy is with a Y actually. Because Y said I meant Z, because Z's the American spelling, isn't it? So if it's something snug, it's cozy, it's tight, it's comfy. It's got very, very positive connotations, that word. Yeah, if someone is snuggled up, it means they're cozy and tight. Okay, and secure. Oh yes, secure. We'll add that. Cozy, secure. There we go. Next one was knack. If you've got a knack for something, it means you've got a talent or a skill for it. You might have a knack at football, you might have a knack at telling jokes. A knack is a skill or a talent, because she's got the knack of saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. So that's her skill or her talent. Okay, so knack is a skill or a talent. And then your last word was diverted. What does diverted mean? Well, that plane was diverted from the original location to somewhere else. It means it was sent a different way, essentially, or sent on an alternative route. Okay, if you think on a motorway, if part of the motorway is closed, you might be diverted around. Okay, you're sent a different way. Okay, so that's diverted. So even if you got the general idea but don't necessarily get my exact words, that's absolutely fine. You can still give them a tick. If yours weren't quite right, doesn't matter. Just write my definitions alongside yours. Okay? Well done. So now we've predicted, we've read the text, and we've clarified. It's time to answer some questions. Let's move me out of the way slightly. Just sit there like that, so we can still see the questions. So, same thing again here. What I want you to do is make sure you listen to the question, then pause the video, and then have a go at the answers before I give you the answers. All right? So here are all of our questions. There's 4 today. You might need a bit more space to answer these because some of these are a little bit longer. Okay? Question 1 says, how... Straight away, I can see a missing word. How is the way Mum is reacting to the turbulence different to the children? Should be a comma there. I don't know what I was thinking when I was typing this out. How is the way that... we're missing a question mark. Goodness me. That's like a spag question there, and notice all the mistakes. How is the way Mum is reacting to the turbulence different to the children? Provide evidence to support your answer. Okay? So for these kind of questions, they're a little bit like the spag questions where it's like, what are the difference between these 2 sentences? You are doing a comparison answer here. How is the way Mum is reacting to the turbulence different to the children? In order to get your marks, and this is really a 2-mark question, you need to say, Mum is reacting this way and the children are reacting this way. That's how you ensure that you get both your marks. And that's how you're telling me how the way Mum is reacting is different to the way the children are reacting, okay? Pause there, go back to the text if you need to, and have a go at answering that question for me now. Off you go. Okay. So hopefully you got an answer. Double check that it's structured like Mum is reacting to turbulence like this, the children are reacting like this. Make sure you've got that structure, otherwise you might not get your 2 marks. If you just said, oh, Mum's reacting like this, that's not enough to get you 2 marks, okay? Or if you say Mum's reacting like this, but the kids aren't, that's also not enough for 2 marks either. Okay, number 2 says, according to the text, where is Kinshasa? I can't remember what we agreed was the pronunciation. Where is Kinshasa located? According to the text, where is Kinshasa located? Now, it's not given to you as bluntly as Kinshasa is located here. You've got to infer and go and find the evidence from the text, okay? So pause the video there, go back to your text. If you've not got a copy of your own, rewind the video to the point where I was reading the text and find me where is Kinshasa located and write down the location. Off you go. Pause the video there. Okay. We're ready to go on? Number 3. What sort of person is Amelie? Provide evidence to support your answer. So there is a 2-mark question again. All right. What sort of person is she? Provide evidence. So that's a point and an evidence. She's this kind of person because in the text it says this. All right. So go back to your text now. It's normally easy to find the evidence. Find something that she's done and say, well, that means she's this kind of person. And then write that full thing down. Okay. What kind of person she is and the evidence. In the text it says, I know this because in the text it says this quote. Okay. Have a little go doing that for me now. Pause the video. Okay, and then number 4 says, in your own words, explain why the trip back to Kinshasa would take days, not hours. So in your own words, explain why the trip back to Kinshasa would take days, not hours. So go back to the text, talk about, I'll give you a hint, it's in chapter 2. When they're talking about getting back to Kinshasa, why is it going to take days and not just take hours, okay? Write that down in your own words. Don't quote it directly from the text, okay? Pause the video there and have a go. Okay, so you should now have 4 answers. If you don't, you need to make sure you pause and have a little go, because if I just tell you the answers now, then you won't have gained anything from this. If you've not got them right, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the right answers, what you need to do is make sure that you write my answers next to yours, okay? And then when you send me your work, I will be able to see what you originally thought and like, okay, so this is the real answer. If yours is just slightly different to mine, like wording or things like that, but generally you meant the same thing, then that's fine. You don't need to write my version down. Okay, here we go. How is the way Mum is reacting to the turbulence different to the children? Provide evidence to support your answer. Right, so the first thing I do is go right back to the text. How is Mum reacting? Well, Mum here, there's not much to describe how Mum is reacting there. So we're going to keep skimming and scanning. Keep skimming and scanning. Oh, there we go. Mum, however, is a nervous passenger at the best of times. Through the seat gap ahead, I glimpse her neck, rigid with fear. So I'm going to start with that. I've not even found how the children are reacting yet, but I know I need to say Mum is reacting this way and the children are reacting this way. So Mum is rigid with fear. Okay. The children, actually I'm going to put however, because that shows there's a difference there, doesn't it? However, the children are, and let's now go and find out how the children are reacting. I actually think I missed it up at the top. Or did I? Oh no, maybe I didn't. I kind of remember what I'm looking for. I do remember there was a bit where he was laughing. And oh, there it is. Here it is. I burst out laughing after he'd been hit with a bit of turbulence, and this was fun. So there we go. That's how the children are reacting, and that's different now, yeah? So Mum was rigid with fear, how the children are laughing and having fun. There we go. Okay, and that will get me 2 marks. One for saying how Mum is reacting, and one for saying how the children are reacting. Perfect, 2 marks there. According to the text, where is Kinshasa located? Now, I did say it's not as easy as say, oh yeah, Kinshasa is located here, okay? So basically what I need to do is I need to kind of skim and scan and make some assumptions. So I know they're traveling to Kinshasa, and I also know that they're nearly there because the pilot says the weather has closed in around it. And then I get this quote. Seems like a nice day to me. The Democratic Republic of Congo averages more thunderstorms per year than anywhere else on Earth, Emily replied. Good to know, still not today. So this, to me, implies that where they're travelling to is in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And I actually did a little bit of a Google search before, and we are right. Kinshasa is a real place, and it is the capital city of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which I believe is near Africa. Just done a quick Google search there, and yes, Democratic Republic of Congo, it is located in Central Africa, and there's the capital city, Kinshasa. So there you go, all based on real places. Okay, so we can now go, according to the text, where is Kinshasa located? It is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Just double checking that is right. The Democratic Republic of Congo. Yep, perfect. Lovely, mark there. Next one, what sort of person is Amelie? Provide evidence to support your answer. So, need adjectives to describe her and some evidence. Like I said before, it's probably easier to find the evidence first. So, there's a whole chunk down here where it was talking about her. Here it is, isn't it? It's here where she kind of says something that's not really appropriate for the moment. Where Mum is clearly a bit worried and she says, oh, don't worry, it takes a lot to rip the wings off this plane, which isn't massively comforting, is it? And then later on, here, she says here, yeah, that he's trying to comfort her and say it's only going to take a few hours, and then she goes, oh, no, it's going to take a few days. So how would we describe that? What kind of person is she? I don't think we can be as harsh as she's inconsiderate. I think she's more unaware of other people's thoughts and emotions. I think this because in the text, now I'm not going to use a quote, I'm just going to paraphrase. In the text, she keeps saying inappropriate things when people are feeling worried or nervous. There we go. I think she's unaware of other people's thoughts and emotions. I think this because in the text she keeps saying inappropriate things when people are feeling worried or nervous. You might have something different. If you can back it up with evidence from the text, then it's probably all right. Okay? And last question now, number 4. It says, in your own words, explain why the trip back to Kinshasa would take days, not hours. Now, we were just on that bit, weren't we? We had just seen that when we were doing our last one. I tried to placate here. It's only a few hours' drive, Mum. On a tarmac motorway, yes, Emily pointed out, but that distance can take days on dirt roads, particularly in the wet season, which is now, she added helpfully. So why is it going to take days, not hours? Because they were driving on a dirt road in the middle of wet season. If you had just one of those, either because they were driving on a dirt road, not on a tarmac motorway, or because they were driving in the middle of wet season, then that's absolutely fine as well. There we go. Mark your original answers. If you got them wrong, don't forget to write the correct answers next to it and see how well you did. So, last section is our summary. And this one I'm not going to do with you, okay, just like last time. I'm going to leave you to do this one by yourself, okay? So it says, can you write down one fact that you know about each of these characters? And I've tried to make it go from easy to hard. So Emily, tell me one fact you know about her. Don't tell me what you think of her. Tell me one fact that you know from the text. Give me one fact about Mum, and give me one fact about Dad, which is tricky because he barely features at all. So you have to really go searching for a fact about him. Write down one fact for each of those characters. Remember, you can send in all your work today to rsa.year6@3, then a hyphen, saints.org.uk. Okay? If you're not sure about the email address, go back to one of our other writing videos where it's on the whiteboard. Okay? Thank you very much, guys. Remember, there's no video tomorrow, and I will see you on Monday for our next writing lesson. Bye.